Alice. It's good to see you all here. Thank you for hosting this event. Born and raised in San Antonio, and my family and I have lived in District 8 for 15 years. I've spent over 15 years in local government, most recently as Chief of Staff to our mayor. From 2018 to 2021, I served in the mayor's office, which gave me a ton of experience to really understand the local issues, right? Folks that were coming in and out of City Hall, residents, business leaders, folks doing business with the city. So it really gives you a great perspective. Really proud of the endorsements we've received throughout this campaign from the San Antonio Police Association. Today, our firefighters endorsed me, and we walked away with 40% of the vote in the runoff. So we feel really proud of that work. It's a testament to the work that we did on the campaign. And really, District 8 is a district with large corporations like USA and Valero. We've got a public university that's growing. We've got 27 parks. We've got strong neighborhoods, a medical center, and so I want to protect everything that is there. So thank you for having us, and I look forward to answering any questions.
Thank you. First question is on workforce development and economic mobility. Start with Evelise, and then Paul, you'll have the same question. So Evelise, District 8 encompasses significant employment hubs like Medical Center and UTSA. How would you collaborate with these institutions and stakeholders to enhance workforce development programs, ensuring residents have access to training and employment opportunities aligned with the district's evolving economic landscape?
Yeah, so all of that. Yeah, I mean, it's really about just keeping the door open to the businesses in District 8, like I said, USAA, Valero, our medical center, UT Health. Those are all businesses that, I mean, you're talking over 30,000 employees, right, that are in and live in District 8 too, right? These are folks that are really making their homes in District 8, building families in District 8, and so they don't encompass just the work that they do, but they encompass the life that they have chosen to live in District 8. So it's really about protecting those businesses, making sure that they have an open door to my office, making sure that I keep up with the growth that they're experiencing, and go from there. So yeah, absolutely want to support. Those are, I mean, everything you listed, right? We can't be San Antonio without them. We can't be District 8 without them either. So those are all important pieces that make up District 8.
Great, thank you. Paula, same question.
Yeah, so workforce development, and that is, of course, just a really important topic across the city. Very excited about all of the growth that is going on in District 8 and that we can anticipate with this new merger that's going to happen between UTSA and the medical school and all that that's going to bring. And the pipelines from education into job creation in District 8 is going to be really so important for not only the district but our city and the region itself. Workforce development is certainly a critical issue across the community in all different places. We all know the importance of education in that, and having these pipelines through our education system into jobs and bringing employers here that we are going to be able to have our children be able to grow into careers if we want to have them stay in our city. So very excited about the opportunities for growth in District 8 and want to be supportive of that. As a business person, I understand business issues here and just the importance that job creation plays for all of us in our community. So,
thank you, Paul. The second question is on equity lens budgeting, and we're going to start with Paula, and then Elise will answer. Okay, San Antonio's city budget now employs an equity lens, allocating resources based on community needs rather than an equal distribution across districts, which is the way we used to do it. As a representative of District 8, how do you perceive this approach? How would you ensure that District 8 receives appropriate resources while supporting investments in historically underserved areas? Paula.
Right, so the equity lens is certainly what the city has adopted in recent years, and as the councilwoman for District 8, I will be wanting to make sure that District 8 is getting its fair share of the resources that are allocated for the things that we need and the growth that's happening in District 8. I certainly understand the importance of being able to utilize resources in areas of our city that need extra assistance, but I believe that it's really important for us to focus on the needs, and I will be the councilwoman in District 8 for the people and businesses in District 8 to make sure that there are many issues that I have learned of as I have been out in the community, projects that have been delayed, places that investment has not been made for the needs within our community. So my first priority would be for the people and businesses in District 8.
Thanks, Paul. Elise, same question.
So for me, I think being in the mayor's office, I went through 3 city budget cycles, so sitting there as your councilwoman will be my 4th. So I have an understanding of the equity budget, but being a council member is different, right? Sitting in that chair on the dais. And so getting a kind of a refresher on that budget process is important to me, and making sure that residents understand what that budget looks like, and not telling you to know what line 10 and page 400 looks like, but just really comfortable with where and how we're spending our money. District 8 has a lot to, whether it's stormwater, drainage projects, Prue Road. If you say Prue Road in District 8, everyone comes undone because it's a project that, I mean, is taken quite a long time. So there's real experience with how that money is being spent, and Prue Road is a prime example of that. But I think for me it's about, I do think how we're budgeting is working, but that's me here, sitting in that chair, learning more about that refresher I think is important to me, and making sure that District 8 residents are getting their fair share, of course. I mean, that's what we want, that's what we're there for, so, yeah.
Well, great. I'm a District 8 resident, so I'm very, very excited. Thank you both so much for your service. Thank you for being here tonight, and good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we'll go to District 1 now. All right. Okay, so I'd like to invite up Patty Gibbons and Sid Clark.
Keeping all on your toes. It's like, what number are we going to pick next?
We're going to take a quick pick.
Oh, picture.
Picture.
You can take it with the microphone.
So I'm a District 8 resident. I'm a former District 1 resident. I used to live in Monte Vista, so I'm looking forward to your answers on this. Like the other candidates, you chip a 1-minute opening statement, which has got the red card ready to go. So we'll start with the incumbent Councilwoman Clark. Sook.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here today. It has been my honor to serve as the District 1 City Councilwoman for the last 2 years. Like I've said in so many previous meetings so far, that it has been like drinking from a fire hose. And Evilise kind of just mentioned it. It takes a lot to learn in the first couple of years, but we have built a really strong team and are excited for what we're going to be able to accomplish in our second term. I think what's most important that we've seen is building the relationships with additional council members, with city staff to get the job done. No one council person can work alone in a silo, and we've demonstrated that we're able to do that, build strong relationships with the other council colleagues, because even just yesterday we put out a CCR in partnership with Councilwoman Alvarete-Gavito and Councilwoman Castillo to really look at our Public Works Department to analyze what's been going on over the last couple of years. So building the relationships that I've demonstrated success in, and partnering with you all, the community, to move District 1 forward as we head into this really important second term.
Thank you, sir. Patty?
Well, good evening, or good afternoon, really. Patty Gibbons, and I really launched my campaign to focus on neighborhoods and the relationships in neighborhoods and communities here in District 1. We're a historic district, so we have some people who've already gone before us, maintained and kept it alive, really, a lot of our history. But I'm also a small business owner. I've been in business for 30 years. My husband and I own Gibbons Surveying and Mapping, and we've seen some of the groundwork of putting those monuments in place. In fact, when Tri-Point came out many years ago, I know that's 20 years ago, but when Tri-Point came out, it was the land surveyors that went out and said, well, we don't want to lose these monuments. They're going to dig up Houston, and we don't want to lose those monuments. So what they went out, the association went out to maintain them. So maintaining who we are, the identity of who we are, and why we got here, I think is very significant. It helps us to go forward in a more positive and a vibrant way from here on out.
Thank you, Patty. So 2 questions. Patty, you'll answer first, and Sook, you'll answer second. Same question. The first question is on small business sustainability. District 1 includes the urban core of many small, locally owned businesses. What specific policies or resources would you champion to help these businesses thrive amid rising cost and displacement pressures? So Patty, and then Sook.
Okay. Well, 30 years, we went through 3 recessions. We actually started our business in '91 during the savings and loans when that thing came out. And then we went through the 2010, I'm sure many of you experienced that recession at that time. And then of course we had COVID. Those are three significant parts to get through for a business, and they're difficult. But the way that we got through it, and I think others and the city council can help, is to watch your budget. And we have to be a good example of that for city council. Do we watch the budget? It doesn't necessarily mean spending or cutting. It does mean how to watch our spending. I can remember we were met with, well, we need to stop blue lining, because blue lining was no longer, well, the machine worked though, and it was paid for, and it was still able to produce drawings instead of going to black line where we have to buy a machine. So it's really kind of working with businesses on the knowledge and the experience that I have to bring those, and 37% of those in District 1 are just mom and pop stores, and they need a lot of hand holding maybe, and a lot of support, and a lot of love.
So, same question.
Yeah, so I don't know if any of y'all remember St. Mary Street, but a lot of my small business owners in the district do. And when I came in, we worked really closely with them to figure out what are the biggest barriers, why do we see so many small businesses shutting down? And the number one reason they told us was construction, that we're not doing construction efficiently and quickly enough, which is why we passed our big policy earlier this year to work in partnership with CPS and SAWS to ensure we know where things are underground to get these projects done on time. Whether that means giving incentives to these contractors, we have to get in and get out to stop hurting our small businesses, because the $10,000 community construction, small business construction grants we give them are a nice gesture, but they're not really moving the needle for our small businesses. So we're working on policy and real policy to help ensure that we're getting out of their way as quickly as possible. But the second thing we're doing in our office is working to see what we can do in our own locus of control. We launched a Shop Small holiday guide where we went out and looked at our some of our favorite District 1 businesses to show people where they could shop. We also launched a District 1 loyalty card where you could go to 10 F&B restaurants and get a District 1 prize. And then this summer, we are looking forward to launching a music in business pilot where we're gonna fund musicians to go out in the summer months where y'all don't wanna go sit on a patio, listen to some live music that District 1 is gonna fund for our local businesses.
Thank you, sir. Second question, and Suck, answer first. This is on balancing development and neighborhood preservation. With ongoing developments like the proposed downtown stadium and transit-oriented projects, how do you plan to balance the need for economic growth, the preservation of District 1's historic neighborhoods, and the prevention of resident displacement?
Absolutely, this is a great question. This is what I've been saying the District 1 council person has to be able to do. We have to be able to preserve what the culture is that made San Antonio so beautiful and great, while still allowing for increasing in the population that's going to double in size in the next 10 years. And we can't tell the next family that's coming in, oh, go out and live in the suburbs, because that's the only place that you can afford to live. We want them to be able to live on the Green Line, take the bus down, enjoy the amenities downtown, whether it's watching a game or going to a great restaurant or being in the park, a free park where you can enjoy the experience. That should be accessible to every resident and not just a few folks. And so that's what we will always continue to focus on, is how do we continue to do that? And one of the ways we've demonstrated that with the transit-oriented development framework that we passed is that every single property that gets built has to fit in the historic overlay. So the historic overlay comes first. If you want to build a fourplex, wonderful. It has to go through HDRC and go through the exact process that any other historic building has to as well, and that will preserve the character. In addition, we want to make sure that everyone gets involved and engaged in the development of whatever is coming next, and having a seat at the table for Project Marvel is such an important way for us to do that. We're going to push an infrastructure bond and a housing bond to make sure we're addressing our streets and sidewalks and addressing affordability for housing, because if we do Project Marvel without those two things, we will truly have lost. And I've reiterated that to Eric, the team, and we'll continue to echo that throughout the entire next year or however long it takes to get this project done right.
Thank you, sir. Patty, same question.
Well, I'm in Greater Harmony Hills Neighborhood Association right here behind me. We're 60 years old. We had a celebration of our heritage and how we've been born and kept ourselves a historic neighborhood, but we don't have a historic overlay. So that zoning is going to affect us totally different from those who do have historic overlay. And if we're going to talk about, we're going to have an open dialogue, or you will be able to talk about zoning, those are huge, huge things to overcome. Many of you have probably been through some zoning cases, and it takes time, and it takes a lot of, well, you got to have a really good conversation with the zoning commissioners to try to get something passed. So these are not easy hurdles that she has created with the TOD and the Green Line. The TOD is an invasive zoning project, and it will affect multiple neighborhoods, starting at Greater Harmony Hills right here, all the way down to Lavaca. Some of them like it, some of them will be able to adapt to the change, most will not. the disruption it will cause. So that relationship with the neighborhoods is going to be critical. Listening here and listening here. I've been in San Antonio for 43 years. I came here because of the culture and the vibrancy and the small town feel that it had, because I'm from a small town. I want that to stay and remain. Is that possible with this green line? We will see.
Thank you very much. And let's give them both a round of applause. We appreciate your time. Thank you for your service. Next, we're going to go to District 6. So let's get Rick Galvan and Kelly and Thomas coming up. Yeah. Pose for a quick picture. Great. So by this point, you know the drill. You get 1 minute for an opening statement. Rich is the timekeeper. Kellyanne, we'll start with you.
I wanted to, I don't know if it's on.
It should be on.
Hello? Hello? Can you
Well,
hear
it's
me?
on.
Hello?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kellyanne Gonzalez. I am born and raised in District 6, and I am a proud small business owner myself. I have a screen printing company that I started all on my own. Didn't take out any loans, just bought my equipment little by little. And I also come from a family of entrepreneurs. My family opened their first restaurant here in San Antonio in 2000, Fajita Taco Place off of McCullough. Several of you might have been there. And we opened our second location in 2010. My family also owns HVAC businesses, construction businesses, pet stores. So I understand oftentimes the thin margins that our local businesses, profit margins that they operate off of, but also the benefit and the services that it brings to the community and how important they are. And making sure that whatever decisions we are doing in City Council are not adversely affecting our small businesses. Thank you.
Rick?
Yeah, thank you so much for having us here today. I'm really excited to be here with everybody. My name is Rick Galvan. I'm running for San Antonio City Council District 6. I was born and raised District 6 in the Pepper's Meadow neighborhood, just outside 410 near Ingram Park Mall. Proud graduate, Northside ISD Public Schools in the district, graduated from Holmes High School, went on to UT Austin to earn my bachelor's degree, and came back home to make sure that we were continuing to do this hard work, keeping our city a safe, affordable, and quality place to live in. I got involved in my neighborhood association, Pepper's Meadow, where I grew up, been able to work together with neighbors throughout the entire neighborhood to figure out ways that we can keep our streets safe, make sure our parks are up to date, and work together with our local businesses in the community to really advertise them and get them on the map and make sure that we're buying local in our community as much as we can. It is because of the work that I've been able to do as a neighbor association president, as well as working at City Council right now with District 5, that I've learned a lot about making sure that we have good collaboration between both the private sector and the public sector, but so too with many others on council as well, working with one another to make sure that we're getting these jobs done, getting the policy that we need to really assist our working families. And so that's what I'm going to be focused on doing.
Great, thank you. 2 questions as always. First question is going to be about infrastructure and growth. Kellyanne, we're going to start with you, and then Rick, you'll answer the same question. District 6 continues to experience rapid residential and commercial growth. What are your top infrastructure priorities, and how would you ensure the area's roads, drainage, and utilities can keep pace with development?
So yes, District 6 is actually the fastest growing district in the city. And as several of you may know, in the 2022 bond, there was allocations for the Culebra Road inside of 410. And so one thing that I will be looking for in the 2027 bond is making sure that we are prioritizing Culebra between 1604 and 410. And another thing about that part of Culebra, that is where a majority of our small local businesses are located in District 6. And so I want to make sure that while we are preparing our infrastructure for that continued growth, that we're having good communication with our small businesses, letting them know about the timelines, letting them know about the process, and involving them into that conversation, because the very last thing that I want is for any small business to be run out of District 6. Thank you.
Thank you. Rick, same question.
Yeah, no, I think it's really looking at ways that we can, one, streamline our services for infrastructure development throughout our entire city. We see a lot of these kind of concerns, not only within the inner city, but also the outer rim of the 410 up to 1604 too, where project delays are really kind of slowing things down for our folks. We're trying to get to and from work, trying to make sure that folks are able to get the material they need to their small businesses or to the larger businesses as well. And so making sure that we are working with the Public Works Department to effectively deliver these services is really important to me. Beyond that, making sure that the 2027 bond, we have an infrastructure bond that really delivers for our working families and our neighborhoods that have oftentimes been left behind in our communities, particularly on the inner west side of District 6, but also looking at other places that had kind of been left behind as well, whether it's on drainage improvements or it's on streets and sidewalks, to make sure that folks are able to get around a bit easier, connecting to the trails, connecting to the bike network throughout the district, and making sure that folks are able to get around by foot, by bike, by bus, and by car as well in a safe manner. That way they can really find different ways to get to the places they want to go, get to the jobs that are being created here, as well as working with VIA to expand the VIA Link service up north, where it's a bit harder to get regular bus service, but folks also rely on public transportation, both young, our seniors, and our working families too. Make sure they can get to school and to work in an effective manner. It means making sure that we're expanding these transportation systems, as well as improving our infrastructure so it's safe and easy to connect to one another through the transportation systems.
Great, thank you. Second question relates to community safety. We'll start with Rick first, and then Kellyanne. Both of your campaigns have emphasized the importance of public safety and access to services. How would you strengthen community safety in District 6, whether through police resources, mental health services, or other neighborhood-based initiatives?
Yeah, thank you for the question. When I think of public safety, I often hear from residents that are looking at ways to not only stop the bleeding, but also address the real cycles of crime and violence that we're seeing in our communities. And so what that looks like to me is making sure that we have a holistic public safety system that fully supports our first responders, making sure that they're able to quickly and effectively respond to emergencies as they happen in our communities, but so too investing in our mental health resources, our animal care services, our violence interrupter teams, and our workforce development issues as well, or solutions as well, to make sure that we're really addressing the underlying issues of crime and violence in our communities. And so working together on those pieces is really important to me, making sure that we're scaling up a lot of these services to reach some of these parts of District 6 and the parts of our city where they maybe typically don't, whether it's our Stand Up SA program or mental health outreach services or even our homeless outreach teams. Making sure they're well funded and well resourced to really get to the places they need to go proactively is important to me. And that's why I'm really excited to be endorsed by our constable in the area in Precinct 2, Leticia Vasquez, because we understand that we have to make sure that we're looking at both sides of public safety in a holistic way to really deliver on these pieces and address public safety in the long term.
Thank you. Same question.
All of the above. You know, when we think about public safety, really what it comes down to is that people want to feel safe inside their homes when they go to sleep at night. And the reality is we are never going to be able to afford a police officer on every corner. And so I think that, you know, there is a certain amount of personal responsibility when it comes to talking about public safety, when it comes to keeping yourself and your neighborhood and your neighbors safe. And that starts with communication. And I think that, you know, last several years, the relationship between our police officers or safe officers in our communities have really deteriorated. And so I think that one of the focuses needs to be repairing that relationship, making sure that people in their homes know who their safe officers are, know who their neighborhood watch is, and bring back the Citizens on Patrol program. Another thing, yes, 100% mental health services. A lot of our youth experienced some very hard times during COVID, and I think a lot of them are still recovering. And so 100% we need those mental health services, but also something as simple as street lighting. Oftentimes you just need that lighting in those areas, like our cluster mailboxes that are experiencing theft, to deter that crime. But to Rick's point as well, you know, we do need to tackle the causes, the root causes of crime. So many of our young kids now, you know, when they get off of school and they go home, there isn't a parent there waiting for them because both of their parents have to work. And sometimes both of their parents have to work 2-3 jobs. And so we need to make sure that as a community we are investing in our future, which is our children, making sure that they have a safe space to go to after school so that they're not falling into the wrong crowd, so that they're not so that they're staying safe and staying on a path that is going to make them good, productive citizens of our city. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for your service. District 9. So we've got Angie Taylor out on photo and Misty Spears. And Brett and I are going to pose for a picture with you all.
One more picture.
Okay, full disclosure for everybody in the room, they were at our government affairs program last week and answered a lot of these questions. This is easy, you got to warm up now. Thank you all. You all know the drill by now. You each get 1 minute. Angie, we're going to start with you. Opening statement, then go to Misty.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Angie Taylor Aramburu. Thank you so much for having us here tonight. So I'm a small business owner, and my background and master's degree are in nonprofit arts management. That took me to New York City, where I managed theaters, multi-million-dollar theaters in New York. I also worked as a consultant doing feasibility studies for performing arts centers across North America. And I did so during the 2008 financial crisis. So I have some very applicable experience that may come in handy in the next year. Beyond my professional experience, I should mention my small business is a fitness company, and it has been featured in the New York Times, on the Today Show, and in the Wall Street Journal, so I know a little bit about building and growing a small business. I'm also very active in the community and have served in many leadership roles on the PTA. I've been on the Mayor's Fitness Council for 8 years, promoting public health and wellness, and I look forward to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. Misty?
Well, hey y'all, I'm Misty Spears, and I am running for District 9 because that is my home. I've lived in District 9 for 35 years. I grew up there, went to Churchill High School and Christian School at Castle Hills, and I raised my family in the same area that I grew up in the Encino Park area. I am the Director of Constituent Services for Commissioner Grant Moody. I took that on after my husband had a law practice, so we also had a small business, but now he's a justice on the 4th Court of Appeals. And in my service for Commissioner Moody is where I really learned that I have a good pulse for District 9 and the needs there, because I talked to the constituents already, and I already know how to solve a lot of the problems that we see coming up. I love District 9. It's very personal for me. I think my top 3 are public safety. I care about reducing spending of your tax dollars and lowering our tax rate. And I care about economic growth for San Antonio. So, Misty Spears, District 9.
Great, thank you. So 2 questions, as always. The first question is about affordable housing and zoning. And I'll go to you first, Misty, and then Angie, they'll answer the same question. Affordable housing is a contentious issue, or can be a contentious issue, in District 9. What is your vision for addressing affordable housing in D9, and how would you navigate the challenges of zoning and community concerns to implement your housing policies?
Well, I do this already. We've had some town halls. This is a big concern in District 9. A lot of NIMBY is going on in District 9 when it comes to affordable housing. There's about 4 or 5 already multifamily housing neighborhoods in District 9. And we've seen a couple recent applications get pulled back because they can't meet the density requirements. However, affordable housing, or housing affordability as I like to call it, is essential. We have people that are coming out of school that need a place to live. We also have seniors that are going to be needing, maybe they're going to be on a fixed income and they're going to need a place to live, and they want to be around their families. So this is really an important thing that we need to address in District 9. And I'm ready to do that, and I think a lot of that's about communication with our residents and with the communities, and being very transparent and accessible, and talking with developers and making sure we're meeting the needs. Preserving the integrity of our neighborhoods is top priority for all of our residents as I've been at the doors. So those are the things I'm going to focus on, and I think we can do all of that. We can do all of that really well for District 9. Thank you.
Thank you, Misty. Angie, same question.
Yeah, so we need housing at every income level. We need affordable housing, we need market rate housing, we need single family housing, and we need multifamily housing. And we need to look at the data, see how much we need, and then be responsible in providing that. An article just came out, I think it was in the past week, saying that home ownership is just becoming impossible for parts of our population, and renting is more affordable. And that's just a fact of life. And if we want our first year teachers, our police Source Partners, which provides services to residents in affordable housing units. I've attended the TAP conference, so I have a good understanding of how affordable housing works, what it is and what it is not. There is a lot of misinformation out there, and I've learned that communication is key when working with communities because we want to maintain our beautiful neighborhoods. That's why people move to District 9. We love our neighborhoods. We want to maintain the integrity of those neighborhoods, and it requires early and thorough communication between the City Council office, the developers, and the communities.
Thank you, Angie. Next question, we'll start with you, Angie, and then Mr. will have the last piece of it. Infrastructure and public safety, which is obviously a big topic in District 9. You both have acknowledged the need for improved infrastructure and public safety in District 9, including the proposal for a new fire station north of Loop 1604. What specific infrastructure projects would you prioritize to enhance public safety and accommodate the district's growth, and how would you propose to fund these initiatives?
Okay, yeah, so from what I've seen, we have not kept up with growth in terms of public safety infrastructure in District 9. There's been a lot of growth north of 1604, and we really need another police substation up there along the 281 corridor to be more accessible and to reduce response times. We have citizens in the northeast quadrant of District 9 that are paying city taxes and getting services from the county, so they're not even getting the service they're paying for. So we could certainly use another fire station in our district to, again, reduce response times. Anybody that drives in District 9 knows traffic can be a big issue. We don't have a lot of travel points throughout there. So we just need a new substation, a new fire station. Those would be through the bond. I think we should prioritize those because safety is key. People don't want to move into or invest in communities they don't deem safe. And when you need the EMS, when you need fire, you want them there quickly, and that's important, and we need, as a city, that should be our top priority.
Misty, same question.
Well, I will say I am very proud to have the endorsement of the San Antonio Police Officers Association, as well as the San Antonio Fire Department and our Deputy Sheriff's Association of Bexar County. And this is our top priority. We've been hitting all the doors, and this is our neighborhood's top priority as well. I see that we need more boots on the ground, and we're competing with other metroplexes to get those boots to San Antonio. San Antonio is a wonderful place to live, but we have to continue to maintain San Antonio in that way and attract talent here. That doesn't always just mean an increase in pay. They also need mental health support, and then good facilities, everything you would want in any job. Those are the things that you need to provide for fire and for police. We do need additional facilities on the north part in District 9, and I think we can do that through bonds as well. But we also need some good parks. We're short on parks. We also need to be maintaining our assets that we do have. I don't think we need to be looking at deferred maintenance. I do believe that we need to have our dollars that we can spend in District 9 and maintain the things that we have. But quality of life for District 9 is going to be key, and all of San Antonio, actually. Everybody needs these things. So those are the things I'm going to be advocating for, and I feel very strongly about, and I think all of you do too. So thank you.
Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you all so much for the service. So this concludes the formal portion of our program. But for the candidates who are still here, I see Rick, Kellyanne, Misty, Angie, who else is still here? Want to stick around and mingle with the folks. Again, I want to thank Zach. I don't know if we have any closing remarks, but I want to thank Zachary for hosting us. I want to thank all of you for being supporters, all of our sponsors, and all of you for being engaged in this process. But I particularly want to thank, again, the candidates for your service, for what you're willing to sacrifice, what you've already sacrificed during the campaign, just to put yourself up for public office. So with that, anything else?
Yeah, just to reiterate our appreciation on behalf of the Metro SA Chamber, our board of directors. Thank y'all, both attendees and candidates. As Rob mentioned, craziness. Candidate forum today was fast and furious, kind of like the runoff election that I know it's a sprint to the finish line for all of our candidates. So again, thank you all for carving out about an hour of your day today, and best of luck to those here and then those who had to exit early. To wherever else you're going with your other forums for the rest of this evening and the week to come. Thank you all, and look forward to working with you in the future. Thanks, everybody.